Hello everybody, my name is Jack and welcome back. Welcome back to my channel Genius Speaking. You know the format of this channel, it is teaching Italian language in a fun and easy way. So, welcome back for another lesson, and today we're gonna see two important things of Italian grammar. And of course, I'm going to use that in everyday spoken Italian. I'm talking about elision and truncation. Those are two important concepts in Italian language because dictate the rhythm of this beautiful language. But first, just take a look below in the description because I will link a pretty useful summary. You can use it to jump to every chapter of this very lesson. First chapter is about elision. What is that and how it happens in Italian language? Chapter number 2 will be when elision in Italian language is mandatory. In chapter number 3, we will see when elision is facultative. And in chapter number 4, I will teach you when you must not use the elision. Okay, welcome to chapter number 1. I think it is my duty to explain what elision means in Italian language. Well, that is pretty simple. As you probably notice, because you're a genius speaker, many or actually every word ends by a vowel. That's the reason why Italian language has its own particular rhythm. Remember to watch this video I link up here because it explains how basic Italian pronunciation works. Because there are so many vowels, still it is needed in Italian language to find a way to make pronunciation of words easier. So, elision happens when final vowels of words, which are unstressed, are placed right before another word that starts with a vowel. So you basically have two vowels clashing together. That's why an elision is needed. The final vowel of the first word falls off, and in its place we find an apostrophe. That makes easier to chain pronounce different Italian words ending and starting with vowels. Okay, now that we covered what elision is, we can examine the various cases scenarios when it is mandatory in Italian language to use the elision. Elision is mandatory when you have the articles lo and la. When one of those two articles face another word that starts with the vowel, you must take off the final vowel of the article and in its place you draw an apostrophe. Take for example, la amica. In English will be translated with the friend. La amica is female. But the most important part is when you say la amica, it is pretty clear there are two vowels clashing together and you have to pause between the two of them. It sounds redundant and it has less musicality compared to the elided form. L'amica. You see? L'amica, because you don't have to repeat the vowel a, it has better musicality. It is easier to pronounce and the two words can be chained together with a fluid and smooth pronunciation. That's why in Italian language it sounds better l'amica rather than la amica. If we change gender and we refer to a male friend, lo amico, vowels are different. You have lo, o coming from the article and a coming from the word friend, amico. However, even in this case scenario, you have two vowels and the sound is paused between the two words. Lo amico. Instead, compared to this new form, l'amico, Sounds better, isn't it? So in written Italian you have an apostrophe because that apostrophe up marks the matter of fact that once there was a vowel belonging to the article. The same thing happens when we in Italian language use the indefinite article una. Una ends with the vowel a, therefore refers to female gender stuff. Un'amica, a friend. Again, the pattern repeats. Una amica sounds a little bit worse than un'amica. Pronunciation is way more fluid and it has more musicality and a better rhythm. Another case scenario when the elision is mandatory when you're using the adjective quello and its female version quella. In English means that. Quella amica or quello amico sounds worse than quell'amica or quell'amico. Also with the adverb ci, the elision is mandatory. Ci is, in Italian language, an adverb and can be translated in English with in it. Especially if you place ci before words starting with the vowel e, it is important to elide the e from ci. In fact, if we have the stressed e from the verb to be e, if I have to say is in it, in Italian is ci e. C'è. It is way better c'è rather than ci è. Also, have you probably noticed, because you're genius speakers, also when you use other verbs starting with the vowel e, like for instance, it enters in it, ci entra. Entra is the verb entrare, which means to enter. Even in this case scenario, ci entra sounds worse than c'entra, with the conjunction anche, which means also. It is best to use the elision. Of course, if after anche follows another word starting by a vowel. Anche io, also me, it is better to say anch'io. Finally, we have particular Italian expressions when it is mandatory to use the elision. For instance, in the expression mezz'ora, which means mezza ora, half an hour. D'ora in poi, di ora in poi. But the final E of di, it is elided. D'ora in poi sounds smooth and better. And it means from now on. Bravo uomo, good man. Bravo uomo, it loses its musicality and the particular rhythm of Italian language. Bravo uomo, it is definitely better. And senz'altro, which means definitively, senza altro sounds way worse than senz'altro. So now you have pretty much the idea why elision is so important in Italian language, because it is the crucial rhythm of this very beautiful language. But in some case scenarios, the elision is facultative, meaning if in d'ora in poi the conjunction di mandatory loses its vowel, in other forms often the conjunction di keeps its final vowel. Di means of. Of love can be translated in Italian with di amore or d'amore. Again, using d'amore, so using the elision, it is better, sounds definitely better. However, it is not a mistake saying di amore with the adverb or conjunction come, which means how, followed by the verb to be essere. How is it? Formally, it is translated with come è, it is correct. But if you want to show off your Italian language skills, you can say com'è, in this case using the elision. How was it? Come era. Era is the past version of the verb to be. And you can also use the elision. Come era becomes com'era. Last case scenario is with the adjective questo or questa, which is translated with English this. This friend comes to be in Italian quest'amico, which is questo amico with the elision. This chapter we're going to see briefly when it is not possible to use the elision. There's a particular case scenario when it sounds odd when you use the elision, and is when you're using the preposition da, which in English can be translated with the word from. Da una casa means from a house. However, between between the preposition and the article, d'una casa, sounds very odd. Ladies and gentlemen, class is dismissed. Please remember to hit the like button and subscribe to my channel, and stay tuned for the next lesson about truncation coming next week. Bye bye!